Ticket Machine is the official ticket broker of Spartan Nation. No matter what you need a ticket for, border to border, coast to coast, the Ticket Machine is your ticket source. So whether you need to get into the hottest concerts, the best sporting events, you want the best seats in the house, or you just want to get in the door, when you want to go to any event that requires a ticket, anywhere, border to border, coast to coast, it's always theticketmachine.com. Theticketmachine.com, 517-655-3201. Check it out today at theticketmachine.com.
Looking back at last week, where do you want to see the most improvement in the run blocking game?
Well, we did a really good job on a run blocking game. Minimum negative plays. You know, just got to stay consistent on our blocks, blocking through. You know, staying on our blocks. I think that's the biggest thing.
Is that how you get more big runs and stuff like that? More chunk
You just
yards?
stay at it. You know, we did have some big chunk yards, and that was good to see. It's a different game. It's not the same game when we get in two tight ends and two fullback and maybe two fullbacks. It's just not played the same way anymore, and we've adapted our system to that.
Brian talked yesterday about you kind of expect in the first game there's going to be a few, mental mistakes, stuff like that. Was that kind of what you expect, especially with a lot of younger guys? Maybe you're going to see some stuff you can build on.
It was really surprising. It's a good question. It was surprising how few offensive line-wise mental errors, we call them, where you don't do the right thing. And for playing the young guys that we played, etc., we had minimal, very minimal. And Bowling Green came out with two different fronts that we had not seen them play the entire last year. And for those guys to be able to handle it and know their assignments and block accordingly was very good.
What are you seeing different in Western now, 2 years removed from the last time you guys played them?
Just there's a consistency to them. There's a confidence to them, the way they play, fly around. 8 of their top 10 tacklers are back, and they generally do a pretty good job getting guys on the ground. You know, like any big play, there's generally a missed tackle involved, and you didn't see many of them, but you did see a few of them against USC, and that eventually led to them, falling. And man, that was impressive. It was good to see the MAC team go out there and represent.
Will you talk about Luke and how you thought his performance went, please?
Yeah, Luke played very well, played very physical. It's nice to have him there with Jordan behind him. Two kind of different elements right now. One athletic, one kind of 15-round guy who's going to sit there and go after it, and maybe a little limited, but in some of his things, as you have a guard playing tackle, is essentially what we're doing there right now. But it was fun to watch him work, fun to see him get excited about things. And like we all know, game 1 to game 2, that's where you need your biggest improvement. So excited about that.
And Beadle used him on power a lot, which you do through the course of the season, but really featured that last week.
Yeah, we think he does a good job with that. He's a guy who's able to double, a guy who's able to get his hands on. There were a couple times where he really took his guy off the ball. Consistency, we'd be excited. Yesterday, the day before, I've been really on him about just being consistent, about maybe how he approaches his morning, maybe there's a change in there for him, just trying to figure out exactly so what I see every day on the practice field, he can give us consistently on the game
When he
field.
pulled, he was finding his targets pretty
regularly. He did a nice job. Yep, he graded out decently, not as good as I'd like him to, but certainly wasn't losing.
Passed off a stump pretty well midway through the game with, I think.
Oh, he passed off a few things, and a couple times was out of position. And I don't know if it's because there's more heat there on Saturday than we've had in the past. So that's not Bigman's game. We like it kind of 67 and slightly cloudy. So
yeah, it looked like he cramped up a little bit.
Yeah, so he's fine afterwards. Yeah, Brian did as well. So
you mentioned Jordan. What did you see from him and your other two freshmen playing?
Oh, it was fun. It was fun to watch him play. It was fun to watch him go after it. Jordan, really confident, knowing what to do, how to do it, what to do. Kevin getting there. Kevin, that big, strong, mauling guard where you see Jordan out there with his feet and what he's able to do. And then with Matt being able to get out there, Matt Allen, just gave me an Allen-like performance. There's nothing ever really too glamorous about it, but he's going to give us all. And it was fun to be able to get Brian back out there at the guard position for a little while and see those two out there battling like Brian and Jack used to do.
What did you see from the tight ends in the blocking game? Obviously, guys really haven't had a lot of reps in that area.
A lot of guys hadn't had a lot of reps, so a lot of improvement to be made. But overall, you see Sokol really, has stepped up his game in all aspects. I mean, watching him go down there on some of those special teams, man, that was fun. That gets everybody excited because we consider them part of our O-line. So, overall, he really elevated and played terrific football. If he can do that for the next 11 games, you know, you're going to be really excited about where we're at the end of the season.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were done.
No, I was done.
What about your pass protection? I know the work you will have a tendency to take off when there's something open.
It was good. They played a lot more man, like I talked about, you know, schematically, a couple different fronts that we had not seen. Likewise, a lot more man coverage than we had seen, which you can't go and play man when you got Lewerke back there. You're gonna, unless you have somebody spying on them, because you're just gonna leave holes. And we've really worked on trying to move guys as far as the front four, get them out of the way. So if Lewerke does see a lane like you guys, like we've seen for 2-3 years, he can get up and go.
Mark, quick question. Coach Jenks yesterday, or I guess not yesterday, Monday, said that they just, because there was no tape, had not anticipated Lewerke being able to run like that, and they said they would have spied him. I asked him last night, I said, now that it's on tape, people are going to be able to prepare for that. And he said, they still have to catch me. Is there a warning that you maybe give him now because guys are going to be spying, that he has to be a little bit more careful or a little more observant?
I don't know that it's more careful. I just think if you choose to spy a guy, that's one less guy in coverage.
Right.
That's one less guy rushing the passer. So you can spy, but then where are you going to now not, drop a guy down and cover Felton or Darrell or some of our young guys who showed some things, or are you going to not, give a pass rush, which we can move our feet, we can, as you saw, give him ample time to do things and to create. So if you do that, that's just schematically, you're giving up one of the other two parts. So, it'll be, I'm sure they'll come in with a great game plan. As you guys all saw who watched that, it was, well-coached team, and, there's a lot of returning starters, so we have a lot of confidence.
At 95, the defensive tackle, Clark, it looks like he's
a big guy. He's a big guy. It's nice that he was able to not have to stay medical. You hate when a young person has to give that up, but it's not nice that he's doing that for the Broncos. So we've got Jesse Johnson back, who was at Syracuse, who gave us some scouting report on him, and so we
he looks
know a
like
little more.
he could play in most conferences, if not
I think
any
he could. I think he could. Syracuse plays high-level football, and it'll be interesting to see how he does, because I'm sure, like any young person coming in a new organization, terminology, knowledge, things like that, I'm sure behind a little bit. And each game, I hope he, after our game, he gets better and better. So we'll see.
Talk about Western. Sorry. Go ahead. Obviously, the success they've had, the Cotton Bowl last year, they almost beat Southern Cal. Does that help the focus a little bit for an early season game?
I think the group that we have here, this team this year, because we're so young, they know that each week is going to be its own battles, is going to be its own monumental challenge. So because of that, 1-0 will be our message. They all count one, as Coach Perlis always said. So this week, we're, heightened focus on them. We would never look with this group. This group doesn't know what looking ahead means. I mean, this is number 2 for them. You think about it, we had 4 offensive linemen who had never stepped onto the field. 6 altogether if you count a couple walk-ons who were able to get some extra point snaps. But that's, in itself, you better be ready. Your eyes better be focused, and you better be seeing clear.
We were just talking about Matt. With Lewerke's feet and him releasing, how do the tight ends have to battle that challenge of being in block mode versus, hey, we got to get out and be a safety valve for him?
Yeah, it's just different things that we do throughout the week, and should things happen and where they should be and how they should be, it's always discussed. And you get scramble rules if he's scrambling, and we'll do things during team-oriented stuff to make sure that we're where we need to be.
Is that just like a feel thing that they have to kind of learn?
There's rules. Okay. There's rules to it. So there's what we call scramble rules. So when he does get out, and if he's not going downfield, then how he takes off and how our receivers relate is all in there, which is difficult because, like you saw, there's a lot of young guys out there. And it's not just running around and, oh, man, he's open. There's certain rules to each receiver, where they're at on the field, where they have to go. So it's a learned thing.
Looked like Higbee was threw a nice block on your first touchdown. I think Madre London's touchdown. So Higbee's coming along.
Nicely. He's coming along. Yep. I wouldn't have said that. Never mind. I'm not going to say anything well, practice, but he continues to progress and he continues to do better. And I was really excited for him after the game.
And that
Thought
red
he
zone
played really
situation,
well.
you needed that at that point.
Yeah, we needed to get that touchdown, and he pass protected very, very well, and he and Cole next to each other have a feel for each other, and it's fun to watch him practice. Where on the right side, they're still getting used to each other a little bit. On the left side, they feel pretty confident together.
Anything else, Coach?
I hate doing sloppy seconds because my cohorts have probably done a good job covering everything.
Well, you might have a question that something happens.
Since I'm late.
Go ahead.
When you have a quarterback who moves like this, as apparently Brian can, is blocking any different?
I don't think blocking is any different. I think you just always have to be alert to a go call, or alert to why he is starting to run that way, and the quarterback's supposed to be behind you. So, you have to transition. So we started doing some transitional work, just, you're engaged and now you're changing of direction, things like that, according to what the defender's doing.
So it's not as simple as holding your block longer.
No, because they'll throw a flag if you just hold the guy. I wish it was that easy. But no, it's not just holding, because now the angles are different and he's creating different things. We're trying to create openings for him, and in doing so, he can go if he sees nothing's open.
I wanted to ask you real quick too. Is Tyler do you know who's heading to Houston or Texas with that effort?
That's a pretty cool deal right there now that Phil's got going. So I was just asking him as he was going upstairs, and there's 20 guys that are signed up. Whether they're all able to go or not, that's yet to be determined. But having 2 guys, 3 including Coach Samuel, that just prayers go out to that, and then the people in Florida. So it's kind of unique and makes, I think, Americans awesome is when there's trouble, we all come together.
When is the plan to go down there?
We have a bye
During the bye week,
weekend next weekend, so making sure everything's done school-wise, etc. And it'd probably be a leave Thursday, Friday, Saturday, come back Sunday type of deal for them.
They take a bus down there?
No, they'd.
I didn't know if the
I don't know that would take a long time. So they'd fly down there, and as long as I know the airports are open now down there and everything, and do whatever they can and however they can to help.
Forgive the repetition, but how'd the line grade out?
Brian Allen, even though he had the flub with the high snap, he graded out very, very well. Graded out winning. Couple high averages, couple averages in the starters, and then a couple averages in the backup. Not what I would like, not what they would like. Because the one thing that's happened in past years, as you guys have all seen, is it's not that they're doing terrible. It's just this one doesn't do well on this play, next one doesn't do well on the next play, and then all O-line wise, you got to be consistent. You got to all go together.
Do they ever do what you would like?
Sometimes. So that's the thing. Like, our grading is a little different. And it's not 90% and above an A, or none of them would ever get winning. So.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Mark.
You're welcome. You're welcome.